What's up, Junkie Nation? Clay Collar joining us here on the program. He is a PFL veteran who's got a fight coming up against Stevie Ray June 23rd. They're out in Atlanta for these three regular season matchups here. It's their second regular season matchup. Clay's walking into this fight with 3 points. How are you, Clay?
I'm doing wonderful, thank you.
Clay, so, man, it should be easy to figure out. 3 for a win, 0 for a loss, and then the bonus system and all that. But boy, last week was crazy, because we have Brendan Loughnane, who had 5 points. So you'd think he's looking pretty good. And then he gets finished in the first round. And so Jesus Pinedo jumps in there. And then him and Chris Wade are tied. And then Chris Wade goes home because of, I guess Pinedo got it done quicker because they had 2 fights, 1-1 each. And both had that finish in the first round. But that's why one of them went home because of the time. Have you made sure you got everything dialed in when it comes to tiebreakers and everything? Because this division is going to be crazy as well on the 23rd.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go and I'm gonna fight, man. I'm always trying to get finishes. I'm always pushing the pace. I'm always throwing a lot of shots. So I just try, whatever happens is gonna happen. I'm just gonna try to fight to the best of my ability, and that's all I really can do, So all you can really do is fight and hope for the best. Prepare for the worst, hope for the best. So, yeah, we're gonna go in there and we're gonna try to get it done, and we're gonna try to solidify our spot in the tournament, and so we can keep fighting this year and work towards that championship.
So Stevie Ray, your opponent, he has no points. He's going to come after you. He knows he needs 6 to put himself in the best position to advance. Have you at least made a note of that this guy, he may be more reckless in round 1 or more dangerous, whatever you want to call it. Of course, that also could present more holes for you to exploit as well.
Yeah, 0 points, so he's definitely going to be coming at me. I'm a durable guy. I'm hard to finish. I'm hard to put away, and I think my skill set is better than his. So we're looking for the finish. We're looking to go in there and get the 6 points, and I'm not really too worried about that. Like he's locked in that cage with me. So.
Now that you've had a few seasons under your belt with PFL, one thing we love about PFL is there's no politics, right? Whoever is most deserving advances, and then in the end, someone wins $1 million. Very cool. We like it. You guys are on ESPN, great platform. But have you embraced this whole point thing and all that? Like, what would be your feedback? Do you like it 100%, or is there something you would tweak or change?
I think 2 wins should outweigh a knockout, just because
I hear you.
It's win-loss. Like in my opinion, I think the 2 wins should outweigh the 1 win, because anybody can get lucky and catch somebody. It takes more to win. So that I kind of have a question with. Other than that, I do like the point system. I like that, there are no politics. The only people I got to watch out for is the judges. So.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. We haven't talked about it in a while. If you get 1 loss and 1 win, but that win was a first round stoppage, you get 6 points. And if you get 2 wins that go to the decision, that's 6 points. But you're right, the tiebreaker is the guy at the finish goes. I don't agree with that because he also lost. And the whole point of this is to win. But I guess I've gotten outvoted. No one's paid attention to me.
I agree with you. I agree with you 100%. Like, you look at the win-loss record, it's 2-0 and 1-1. Like, the 2-0 guy should get the spot. Like he did what he was supposed to the first time and the second time. You know, the guy who goes in there, I guess it puts a little more pressure on that guy who needs the 6. You know, but yeah, I think those 2 wins should definitely outweigh just based off the record. You know, it's 2-0 and 1-1. Like the 2-0 guy's got a better record, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. Um, have you looked at the other standings or anything? Like Roush Manfio is fighting Natan Schultz. A, they're good buddies. B, they're both defending champs. And they're both tied. So have you even looked at the other possibilities? You just worried about you?
Yeah, I mean, we're always paying attention to the other fighters and the matchups and things like that. One of the guys failed and got kicked out, failed a drug test and got kicked out, so they brought in another Canadian guy to fight Mercier, however you say his name. So you got the 2 Canadians fighting. Nobody really knows who this other guy is, really. So that's going to be interesting to see what happens there. You got the Japanese kid fighting Burgos, and that Japanese kid is tough as nails, man, and dangerous. So he's hard to put away. I mean, I hit him about 5,000 times, and he still stood there and kept throwing kicks. So that's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. With Nathan Schultz and Montefiore, I know they're good buddies and stuff like that, but that's the chances you take entering into a tournament together. Like you have a chance to fight, you know. So that's going to be fun to watch if you ask me.
Yeah.
And then it's me and Stevie Ray. So yeah, I'm focused on getting in there and beating up Stevie Ray and kind of seeing how things play out.
Clay, what would you say would be Stevie Ray's biggest threat that he has in his arsenal? And is it anything that you haven't really experienced before in other fighters?
He's a big, strong guy. As far as being a 155er, he is a big man. So he's gonna be strong. He has tricky submissions off of his back, so we got to be wary of that and watching out for him throwing up a triangle or some weird twister or getting me in a weird position, stuff like that. So I've been preparing physically, technically, and tactically. So I think I am prepared and I am ready to go in there and handle business.
You're a vet of this game of combat sports because you do boxing as well. How much can you read from just seeing your opponent face to face, looking into their eyes, or things that they say in the lead up to the fight? How much do you take in from all that?
Man, it's hard to say because some people like to play head games. You know what I'm saying? They'll say one thing and do another. I'm hoping he wants to try to stand and bang with me a little bit. He was kind of complaining about Nathan Schultz taking him down and holding him down and it being a boring fight. So he says he wants this to be an exciting fight. That being said, I doubt he tries to stand with me for very long. I think he ends up trying to wrestle me and hold me down. So you got to take everything with a grain of salt, man, and just people are going to say what they're going to say, do what they're going to do, and you just got to worry about yourself and worry about your business,
Clay, every fight, with the amount of fights you've had, I know you're motivated for every fight, but are there ever days where it's just kind of boring, doing the same thing? And if so, how do you combat that?
I think that's one of the gifts being a martial artist is there's always something new to learn. There's always something new to do. So it kind of takes away from the boring aspect. I feel like if you're doing the same things over and over and over, you're not evolving as a martial artist. So it's not boring to me. I've been doing this, my entire life, and I still am having a blast training. The only thing that sucks to me is cutting weight. I'm not a fan of that.
Us
Clay,
either.
yeah. Clay,
I
let me
like
ask
being a fat
you.
kid.
Let me ask you a personal question. I'm just a nosy guy. I'm sorry, man. You can shut me down or not, but I got to take my shots, right? It's my job, and I know I ask questions that others are curious about. Have you at least been able to cash in on those wins, man? The Pettis win was tremendous. The Stevens win and the fight were tremendous. And we have to give PFL credit. They've signed some coveted free agents that have come over, written out some checks. Have you been in a position where you had to renegotiate like a new contract or anything and cashed in on that? Because going back to what we said about 6 points with the one win, they want action, right? They want people that, I guess, get their finishes, but I think they also want people that entertain and put on good fights. And I think you're ticking a lot of the boxes. So how's that worked out for you?
So I did cash in a little bit after the first year. We signed another 2-year contract. So my contract is up at the end of this year, and we're up for renegotiating again. I think I'm one of the most exciting fighters in the world. I think there's very few that do it like I do. So yeah, I think I'm starting to build a bigger name than anybody they're gonna bring over. Um, I feel like I'm a better fighter than Burgos. I'm more entertaining than Burgos, and they're bringing him over for his name, but he goes in and he loses to Mercier. You know what I'm saying? So, um, yeah, I'm ready to capitalize on that, and I'm ready to stay here and keep proving myself and keep putting on entertaining fights and boosting PFL's stock as long as my own.
Okay, last question. When the season starts, I'm sure you look, okay, who's in my division? Who are the new names? Who are they bringing back? I'm sure you look at it and your eyes just go to a certain fella. That's the guy I'm meeting in the finals. And then maybe the deck gets reshuffled after a set of the fights. So can you tell me, is it the same person you probably saw at the beginning? Maybe the former champ OAM. I'm not going to try saying his last name either. Olivier Oven Mercier. But anyway, is it him still? Is it Burgos? Is it anyone else? Like, do you envision who you're meeting in the finals already?
You called it, man. My eyes are on OAM. He's a super calculated fighter. He makes very few risks. He does just enough to win. And that does sometimes make for boring fights when you're doing just enough to get by, But he is very, very technical, and he makes very smart decisions, and he gets wins. So he's definitely who I have my eyes on, and who I hope to meet in the finals for sure.
Let me add one more. I'm going to play off my brother's question earlier. As far as like in your interest, right? So is it almost? I mean, I'm sure you want to have a slobber knocker, entertain the fans, ESPN top 10, whatever. But is there something to solving the OAM puzzle that also maybe gets you to the gym? And, is that part of what piques your interest, is solving puzzles like that? Or do you prefer the slobber knockers?
That's the thing with me, bro. It doesn't matter if you put me against somebody super technical and who's gonna try to, win in that way. Like, the way I fight is gonna make it entertaining. It's gonna I'm gonna push them to a place that nobody else does. That's gonna force them to fight. And so, yeah, I'm trying to solve the puzzle, but at the same time, just my fighting style and what I'm good at is putting on entertaining fights, even when the opponent, you might not think it'll be that entertaining, you know? So, yeah, it's kind of a tricky question to answer, I guess.
Thank you for the time, as always, here on Junkie Radio. It's always fun watching you fight. Can't wait for the 23rd. Folks, ESPN has you covered for this fight card. Clay will be fighting that night, and it should be a good one. His opponent has to go for it. Stevie Ray, 2 UFC veterans, now PFL studs, and it's 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific. Thank you, Clay, as always, for the time.
Thank you very much.